This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Was I the one that bailed out on
You
Friday?
bailed though. I didn't find you again.
Oh my god. My user I just had to get I told them to go and check clock in for the day
Yes,
or
yes.
for the yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So
Michael.
I received to see.
No problem. I'll send you a message on WhatsApp. Let's continue our conversation. Let's go. Oh, I sent you a
I
message.
mean, I
You're
was
waiting
enjoying
for
it.
it.
I
Okay.
was enjoying the conversation. How do you guys want to stop?
Yes, yes, like yeah.
Did you hear the conversation?
At least the total that I was hearing, my ear was trying to peak.
Okay, Mike, I was suggesting that yeah, I understand that we are trying to just do a brief walk through, run through. But
Okay,
considering the fact that maybe tomorrow or next or whenever we'll still come back and repeat this whole process,
okay.
don't you think the should I say clearer to people if maybe as we are trying to understand the question we are um, practicalizing it, then put it that way.
Okay.
So at least that way, people might be more engaging, give their inputs, especially when it's broken down. That, oh, how do you think we can do this? How do you think we can do this? Then people
Hmm.
might chip in. That's what I feel though.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it on my end because I mean, so I did not cram the tables. I don't know. I
No, I
don't know
feel your
what.
point. I feel your point. I feel your point. You have a valid point, actually. It's a valid one, but like you said, also, that is what we will start doing from tomorrow. So if we start to the one of the reasons why I feel we should always review the question is two things. Number one, don't forget that we are not actually doing this training. We are not taking classes as per classes anymore. So we are using this means to learn. So the model here is that when we break down the question, we understand the question to the barest level. We can use that understanding to watch out for what we are learning when each person is studying the content. If we start doing what, like you said, we should do it now, we might actually be solving the problem already on the spot. And like you still said, you don't have the tables in your head. The same way it will be for some people, they'll be like, what you are doing, I don't understand. And they've not gotten there, they've not read about it. So I'm just assuming still also. I'm assuming. So, but I know that we know the way to solve the question. I would prefer if everybody
Yeah.
can open their, what's it called, their workbench and be looking through. That would make more sense, actually. We can just be looking through from our various side. But I don't want us to solve it. Let's look at the question. Let's understand the question so that when we are reading, it can give us, I mean, it can, what's that word now? It can tailor us to the right part of the, what's it called, the content to read. And then you can begin to make more sense out of what you're reading. That's my thought. So obviously, when we come back tomorrow, we'll definitely still come back to the question and begin to solve it. So, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I understand it from your point, but to me, it's still really abstract because, like I said, I'm not really seeing what we're doing. But I mean, you suggesting opening the workbench and all that is still a good idea for someone to run through. So
Yeah,
that would, I mean, see how
yeah,
that goes.
no problem. So we can open the workbench from our various ends and just, I mean, as we are trying to look at the whole thing, you can just read along also. Okay, so where were we? Where we were? So yeah, I was saying that if anybody wants to probably put more light to what Fermi said. Fermi, thank you so much for that explanation. Um, is there anybody that would like to add more, or should we just move on? Guys, please let's hear from you. Should we move on? Are we all clear?
I think so. I'm
Okay,
clear, but I don't know about others.
okay. 1 minute, please. Eva. Okay, so guys, let's move on. So this says, note how many of our workers are living in smaller communities in the rural part of Majindogo. So they're asking us to look into the record we just created and see how many workers are living in what's it called? In the smaller communities. Well, we don't know which ones are the smaller communities yet, from my own understanding. So press Naledi or whatsoever congratulated the team for completing the survey, but we would not have this data. We would not have this data where it's not for our field workers. Well, so let's gather some data on their performance in this process, so we can thank those who really put all their effort in. So the press has asked we send out an email or message congratulating the top 3 field surveyors. So let's use this database to get the employee IDs and use those to get the names, email, and phone numbers of the 3 field surveyors with the most location visits. So they say, let's first look at the number of records each employee collected. So find the correct table, figure out what function to use and how to group, order, and limit the results to only see the top 3 employee IDs with the highest number of location visited. Is anybody willing to help us with how we should go about doing this? I think there's a lot embedded in that short statement. So who wants to help us break this down? See, I have a long way to go. We are going to page 40. We are just in page 10. So who wants to help us with this, please? You'd like to clarify and put more light to what this is saying. Chibuzo. I love the fact that you've changed your name to Chibuzo. Awesome. Do you want to try? Chibuzo, can you hear me? All right, is there anyone else that would like to try? Philo, what do you think? Hello? Guys, am I alone? Opeoluwa. Okay, Philo. Let's go.
I have no idea, but let me just something.
Okay.
We are going to count. No, not count. Yes, we're going to count those with the highest number of visits. Use the count function.
We are going to use the count function. Where? How?
Number of visits.
Number of visits. Let's start with the table. What table are we working with here first? I think we should start with that. Do you have your workbench?
Number of visits. That's no, I don't have my workbench open. But last time I checked the database, it was under water source. Okay.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
The employee ID or the visits, which one?
Water source, but not sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue. Is that all that you want to say?
That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your contribution. Guys, do we agree? Or if you have something different that you want to share, let's hear from you. Boluwatife, you're welcome. Good to have you around this evening.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
Very well, thank you. You met us well.
Oh, okay.
Do you think you have anything to say on what we are discussing?
Actually, I don't know what you guys were discussing. I just joined.
Okay. Okay. So we are looking at the question on the screen right now, and we are trying to make sense out of it. We want to understand what they want us to do as regards to this question. What will the query look like? How do we go about fixing this?
Which question is that? I can see.
This
Is
first,
it the one that said make a note of the top 3 assigned employee?
no, let's start with, let's first look at the number of records. Okay, so the question
Okay.
started from this top part. Okay, it started from here, saying the president asked we send out an email or message congratulating the top 3 surveyor. So let's use the database to get the employee's ID and use those to get the names, email, and phone number of the 3 field surveyors with the most location visits. So there is location visit, there is employee ID, then there is their phone number, blah, 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 and all. So we want to be able to generate the total number of visits that these employees have, and they are the top 3, and then want to be able to, make sense out of it and then get their email, phone number, and then names. Do you have an idea of how to go about it?
So we want to get the employee IDs and use it to get the names, email, and phone number of the 3 field surveyor with the most location visits.
Yeah.
Okay, so according to them, we first have to get the employee IDs with the most location visits.
Okay. Okay.
And again, I think there is a table whereby we can use the employee ID to actually get the names, email, and phone number. So this one showing here, employee, I did the top 3.
We don't know who the top 3 are. That's part of what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to figure who the top 3
Okay, please, I would like to ask this question. Is it okay? Is the question part of the first part of the MCQ?
Which MCQ are you talking about? We are treating the second question now.
Hello?
I can hear you. So this is the second integrated.
Okay, all right.
Yes, this is the second one. But yeah, we are still using the same database.
But that's the last MCQ for module 12, right?
For for module 12. Yeah, yes.
Oh, all right, great. So I feel like the person sharing the screen, like, is supposed to open SQL so that we can actually run the query to get the stuff.
Okay, so the idea is we are looking at the question today. You're following our class right now. We are not solving it. We are just trying to understand what the question. From tomorrow we'll start solving the what's it called, that we'll start writing the query on our workbench. But today we are just question.
All right, okay, now I understand. So if I want to go about this, what I'll first do is from the visit table, because I know there's a visit table, we can get the employee IDs with the most location visits. Then once we get the employee IDs, then on the employee table, there should be an employee ID key there. We can use the employee IDs to the employee IDs that we got from the visit table for the highest number of visits. We can naturally use that one to now get the names, email, and phone numbers from the employee table.
That's awesome. Do you want to shed more light to how we can now do that? Are we supposed to get the ID now? I don't get. Are we going to do it separately? Let me put it that way. Like we do it one by one?
Yes, if I want to do it, they can actually be a way to do everything together, but I doubt it because we have two tables.
Okay.
So we have to first of all pull data from one table, then use the information we get from that table to pull data from the other table.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for that insight. Is there anybody? Okay, Jude, I have your hand up. Go on. Jude, you can speak.
Okay, so, for this question,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, okay. So just to add to what
I can't hear you anymore.
there are different tables.
Okay.
Yeah, she made the point that there are different tables, and
Okay.
so we have to work with one table before the other. And so for this particular question, so Chidi made mention of something. He said you can get the table like this, but in a different order. So what I think is the query will run. We can say something like this. We say select employee name, comma, assigned employee ID, and the number of visits. Then from employee, that's the table. Then so I'm not sure the number of visits is attached to the employee table, but if it is if the employee if the number of visits column is with the employee table, we can then add it with the select command, and then from employee, then where um number of visits is greater than 1,000. I remembered the last MCQ. There was a particular query I ran, to look for the number of visits that are more than 1,000, and I was able to get higher than that about entering visits. Yeah, okay, I remember it was visits to the water source. The number of visits to the water source, something like that. Well, where we're having about 2,000, 3,000, and then so since we are trying to look for the highest number of visits, or at least the number of visits, employees with the highest number of visits, then we can run greater than 1,000, and then we should be able to see something like that. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That is my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Oh well, lovely, lovely, lovely one. But if I understand what you're saying, so you are trying to say like we can get the assigned employee ID from employee table, then say comma the number of visits, which we can also use another select query to combine it with the what's it called, assigned employee. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. What I meant is, uh, I'm not sure if number of visits column is part of employees under the employee
I
table.
don't think
So
so.
if it is not, so if it is not under, if it is not under the employee table, so we'll run a separate, query for that from another table. But we can run for employee name and aside the employee ID. I don't know if it's making sense. The number of visits, you can look for the number of visits in another query, then trace it to um okay, police set subqueries and something like that. Thank you. So we can run it alongside and compare that of employees from the first table and that of visits from the second table. I think maybe that's what I'm doing.
Okay, okay. So what you are saying is like if we know that we have two different tables, we can get value from one table and then also get value from another table, then bring them both together, right?
I don't see the possibility of bringing both together. Yeah, just imagine your query where you run your queries. So it was even from Pauline I learned it, where she will select a particular query to run. So when she runs that, if you bring out the information, and then she can select, she will scroll up, take another query and select and then run. So maybe you can do something like that. So if we run that of the employees table, from the employees table, we run that, we'll see the employees that the relevant employees, we'll see that. And the number of visits, we'll run that separately. You select and run that separately, and then you see something. I think maybe that will come then.
Okay.
Any suggestion?
Okay.
I have a suggestion, please.
Who's that?
Though I've not gone through the module, this Boluwatife, but according to what he was saying, we can actually use a join statement to
Okay.
join data from two tables.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, we can use a join.
Okay. Awesome.
Exactly. So, can you confirm that? Exactly, that's what I'm just trying to wrap my head around. The join statement is used to join tables, right?
Yes.
Yes, we can use a joint then statement to compare two tables, like data from one table to the other, and that with that we can actually create just one
Just
statement instead of doing two. Instead of querying the tables differently, we can actually use that joint statement to just create what's it called, the statement at once. Yeah. Instead of querying one table, then using the result to query another table, with the join statement, you can actually do it as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. That makes a lot of, and I think for me, I believe based on this brainstorm that we are doing right now, I think there will be multiple ways to achieve this. There could be one way of trying to do them one by one. That could go. There could be another way trying to combine the tables genuinely. And then different logic could also come into play. But yeah, it shows that we are really getting good grasp of the question. And yeah, we can move. Does anybody have anything? Okay, Pauline, your hand is up. Go ahead, Pauline. You are speaking, but I can't hear you. Can we hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear.
I think Pauline is speaking, but I can't hear her.
I can hear you, Michael.
Okay, go on now.
I can hear you, Michael.
Okay. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
You can go on and speak now. I can hear you.
I was asking if you can hear me now. I don't know if it's just
Yes,
him or
yes,
can
yes.
anybody else hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Pauline.
Okay, I guess not. Let me exit.
Yeah.
I think it's lagging or something. Is it
Yes,
Boluwafe was saying about?
the
I think
network.
there's a lag. Let me exit. What?
Okay.
Yeah, I said there's a lag. Let me just leave. Enter back. It seems like there's a lag. Don't worry. Don't worry. Continue. Don't let me disrupt the meeting. Let me just
Have
exit.
you rejoined? Okay. So, okay, guys, I think we all are making sense from what I understand. If we do it, the main thing is that we'll try the practical and then we'll see what the best way to go about this. But yeah, I think we're having a good understanding of how to go about the whole thing. So yeah, let's just move on from here and then see. So let's take the next question now. So now the next part of this is saying that make a note of the top 3 assigned employee and use them to create a query. So I think this is putting better light to what we were discussing. Okay, so I think from their own understanding, they want us to first find the first 3 employees first that has the highest number. I don't know, because this is saying make a note of the top 3 assigned employee ID. So they want us to have that employee ID and then keep that record somewhere and then use them to create a query that looks up the employee's info. Since you are a pro at finding stores in a database now, you can figure this one out. So you should have a column of names, email address, and phone number for our top dogs. Wow. So if I understand what they are saying clearly here, I think like I said, they want us to have the employee ID that we got from probably the visits, the top 3 visits, top 3 I visits. We should get their IDs and use it to now create another one. So they probably want us to now put those ID into a query specifically and use it to find out the actual information of these employees. So I don't know. So let's assume that we found the 3 employee IDs now, that we know them now. I don't know if anybody would like to try to give us the query that we'll now use to, make sense out of this question. Anybody? Chidima, What's up? Chidima Daniel. Fermi. Philo. Okpe. Anybody. Let's assume that we now have the three, what's it called, employee IDs. We have them now. So how do we write the query to check out the other information they want us to get using these three employee IDs? I think we did something similar to this in our last project. I think we did something that looks exactly like this. Anybody, please? Boluwatife, you're welcome, and Judo, you're welcome to contribute. How do we think we should go about this? Guys, now, our time is going over.
I think the previous people that spoke already spoke about it, that would use a join while writing the query to like the previous query. We'll
Okay.
join the table that contains these details
Okay.
already, so that when it brings out the employee ID and the number of visits, we also see the other details that we want to see. Or after we have gotten this table that we want to get of the assigned employee ID and the number of visits, we would use these details to, like, we can now select the employee ID, phone number that we're looking for, where employee ID is equal to maybe the employee ID for the top three.
Oh,
We can just do where for this top three, or we just join it from the initial query. So I think either works, whichever one is more effective.
all right, very good. So,
Without using join too, if we don't want to use join, since we've already gotten the employee ID for the top number of visits, the number of employee ID with the highest visits, we can just use that, like Fermi said, we can just use the value of that employee ID to actually pull the name, the email address of the employee where the employee ID is. We're just going to input the maybe 0 where employee ID is 1 or 2, and we just get the information for those IDs.
okay. Okay, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on. I think that seems to be much more clearer. So let's look at it like this. So we have the other question. So we have, wow, 15 minutes to go. So analyzing location says, looking at the location table, let's focus on the province name, town name, and location type to understand where the water source are in Maji Ndogo. So they want us to create a query that counts the number of records per town. Even me, I don't think I understand what this is saying. Looking at the location table, let's focus on the province name, town name, and location type to understand where the water sources are in the Maji Ndogo town. Wow. So create a query that contains the number of records per town. Guys, so how do we go about this, please? I think we already did something similar to this. We already did something related to this. They are creating a count. They are counting the number of what's it called? We are counting the number of records per town. That is the number of location. Who wants to help, please? Anybody? Anybody? Our time is running out, so we have less than 10 minutes.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So is it just? Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but your voice is breaking. Please,
Uh,
can you confirm if it's just me? Let me rejoin because I've not been hearing what you've been saying. Your voice has been broken.
You're not the only one. I can barely hear what Michael is saying too.
okay. Sorry about that, please.
Just
Can we hear me
okay.
clearly now? Can we hear me clearly now? Hello.
Yeah, this is okay.
Okay. So I was saying that this question is saying we should looking at the location table, that we should focus on the province name, the town name, and location type to understand where the water sources are, the water sources in the town, and we want to make a count of them. So record per town, and then the water sources that we have. I mean, the town, sorry, record per town, then the town name. Even me, I don't understand what this question is saying. So they are trying to say that we should make a count, record per town. Looking at the location table, let's focus on the province name, town name, and location types to understand where the water sources are in the margin logo. So that might mean that we need to find what's it called, our water sources. I don't know. Then we want to start counting based on the town. We want to start counting the water sources available in each of the towns. I don't know. If anybody has a better idea or understand the question better, please kindly share. Thank you. Can we hear me now?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear
I hear
you.
you, Michael.
All right, thank you. So who wants to help us, please?
Create a query that counts number of records per town. I think for this one, we are going to count all the records per town, then we are going to group by the town name.
Okay.
We are going to select the town name, then we are going to count all records per town, then group by town name. This is just an approach. By the time you actually run this from our end, it might not actually go by like that. Like you might just need to like tweak little things or maybe add little things. I can't say for sure, but at least this is a general approach to actually go for this stuff. If you want to go to get a query, create a query that counts the number of records per town. So we can just select the town name, then we count all the records per town from the locations table, then we can now group by the town name to actually get this table.
Okay. So if I get what you are saying, so you are saying that they want us to count all the water sources record, regardless of the type of water source. We are just counting all the water source record by each of the town, have you?
Wait, let me get this question again. I'm just explaining based on this part that was highlighted, that create a query that counts the number of records per town.
Okay.
So I'm not seeing where they talked about water sources.
It was stated there now, somewhere around it says town name and location type to understand where the sources are in Margin Dogo.
But they just say we should take note. This question here says create a query that counts the number of records per town.
So what record are we counting?
So I don't.
What record specifically?
Is there, okay, that's true. So is there no column called records per town in the table? We need to know if there's a column called records per town first thing first.
Looking at so they said we should go to location.
Yes.
That location, there is nothing like record per town. We have location ID, we have address, we have province name, we have town name, we have location type. That's all we have under location.
There's no water sources too.
No.
Probably they counted. I'm trying to understand. They counted a column, then they now gave it an alias as they now name it as records per town. But the particular column they counted to get these records per town is what I'll just have to look into. But I'm sure they counted the table, a column in the locations table, then gave it an alias as records per town.
Okay, so another way I can look at it is, I think they counted the number of time each town appears. So probably they did group by town and then they count the town name, the number of times each of those town appeared. Are you getting my point? So they made that the record per town. I don't know, I'm just assuming. Looking at the location table, that is the only way I can. From what
Can
the
you state the columns? Can you state the columns in the locations table again, please?
location ID, address, province name, town name, location type.
Location ID, address, location type. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Even in water source, we don't have anything related to location. I'm coming.
If I may, can I?
No,
Can
go
you
on,
guys hear?
go on, please. Go on, Jude.
Okay, so for this particular question now, I don't know, because I just went through the columns under the location table and I didn't see records per town. Or is this a separate table? I
think
went through the
that
columns.
is probably a rename. They probably renamed it record per town.
Okay, so if this is a new column, so I think what can be done for this particular location or for analyzing locations, what we can do, we'll select the the whole of the location table. Then when we do that, see, they've even made it easier for us. We have rural, Harare, Amina, Lusaka, and the list goes on. You can take the first thing we're going to do, we'll get a list of the towns, all the towns, the whole table. Then we'll pick the towns one after the other. We'll say where town name is equals to, let's say Harare first. Then it's going to give us the whole of Harare. Then for the count, to count, instead of using a count command or function, we can just set limits to don't limit. Instead of limit of 1,000, because we don't know what the exact number of record is, we can just set it to never or don't limit, either of them. And then when we run it again, it should bring out the exact number of records. So this we can do for other towns as well. I don't know if you get where I'm going.